the temperature inside the Antarctic ice shelf drops to a bone-chilling -70 degrees. In this frozen wasteland, tens of thousands of penguins struggle to survive. Beneath each penguin, an egg is being carefully incubated. One wrong move, and the egg, guarded by the adult, could touch the icy ground. At these extreme temperatures, the tiny life inside can freeze to death within minutes. To withstand the brutal cold, they stand as still as ice sculptures, huddled tightly together. Starving and exhausted, they hold on through silent waiting, barely clinging to life. Antarctica is the driest place on Earth. Essentially, it's just a vast desert. The snow here never melts. Year after year, layers of snowfall are compressed, forming the 2-mile-thick ice sheet we see today. Winter temperatures average around -40 degrees. Dry, freezing gales often howl at speeds over 60 miles per hour. The wind chill can cause temperatures to plummet to below -70. In such an environment, if a human body were exposed, the countdown to death would begin almost instantly. In a place this cold, no mammal can survive. There aren't even any predators. The polar night lasts for half a year. Under these natural conditions, penguins living here during the incubation period must fast for at least 4 months, incubating eggs while enduring the biting wind. Emperor penguins have thrived in this environment, generation after generation. They return to their birthplace to breed the next generation. And so, these walls of penguins huddling for warmth become the very beginning of an emperor penguin's life. Next, you will see these chubby little guys in their most grueling daily struggle for survival on Earth. After watching their story, you'll realize that their will to survive can outmatch almost any other species. Looking at the ice they live on, we might overlook one crucial detail. In fact, the ice on the mountains and the floes drifting in the surrounding sea are all hidden death traps, because the ice never stops moving, crashing, cracking, and breaking apart. Ice along the coast might suddenly vanish or drift away with the ocean currents. It might even melt under the influence of warm currents. The penguin's habitat may look still, but beneath the surface, the danger of death is constantly surging. According to researchers' calculations, the number of emperor penguins has been declining. The harsh environment is a major factor affecting them. In the no man's land of the Antarctic extreme cold, emperor penguins seem to be staking everything on this battle for survival. They have managed to stay in this barren land, and it certainly isn't due to luck. Look at every feather on their bodies, every dive into the ocean, and every huddle together for warmth. It's all a compromise with the Antarctic cold and a challenge against it. When winter arrives, other animals either flee into the sea or migrate to warmer lands. But emperor penguins choose to do the opposite. They choose to welcome new life during the most dangerous time in Antarctica. As the sun disappears and temperatures hit their lowest point of the year, the emperor penguins begin their breeding cycle, opening a window for new life. Winter here is more than just a season to endure. And it's not just about simple reproduction. Tens of thousands of penguins huddling to breed require a vast, flat expanse of ice, far away from ocean predators. If they bred in summer, the ice would be too broken, and chicks would fall into the sea and drown upon hatching. So they must set out early. In total darkness, long lines of penguins leave the coast, marching toward a void, a wasteland of nothing but ice. The thickness and size of this ice is just enough to last until the chicks grow up and can survive on their own. After mating, the female lays only one egg. She must transfer it to the male with absolute precision. If that egg touches the ice for even a single second, that life is gone. The chick will never hatch. After the handoff, the pair separates to begin their respective missions. The female returns to the sea to find food and regain her strength. The male stays behind to hatch the newborn. During the darkest, coldest months of the year, the male guards the egg with his life. But the true ordeal has only just begun. For 4 long months, the male stands in the darkness without food or water, focused only on the egg. Their metabolism slows down, and their body fat is slowly consumed. By the end, they can lose nearly half their body weight. Meanwhile, the Antarctic storms only grow more ferocious. To survive, the emperor penguins must gather together, huddling for warmth. They move slowly, rotating positions, to ensure every penguin gets its turn in the warmth. There is no leader here. It all depends on the continuous, gentle movement of the entire colony. Only then can everyone's life be saved. On the outer edge of this circle, the temperature drops to minus 62 degrees. But in the center, it can rise to nearly 20 degrees. They rely on this circulatory warming to survive. During this process, the male must keep the egg steadily balanced on his feet, tucked into the skin fold of his belly. If the egg slips out, there is no hope for that life. So they stand perfectly still, no matter how the wind blows or how hungry they are. No matter how the huddle squeezes, they persist day after day. After months of enduring, light finally returns to Antarctica. The gales gradually begin to subside, until one day, from beneath the male's feathers, comes a tiny, faint chirping. It's the sound of a chick breaking its shell. By now, the male is nearly out of energy, but the female is returning with the food she has caught. She has spent these months eating desperately to save up the strength and food needed to raise the chick. Life is truly miraculous. After coming ashore among tens of thousands of penguins, the female finds her mate and chick solely by their calls. While some females may have perished at sea, falling prey to predators, those who successfully return complete the handoff with the males. Next, it's the male's turn to head to the ocean to hunt. Every journey is a test of life and death. Not every male will make it to the shore to taste that first bite of food. Those who do reach the sea dive in immediately. During the short Antarctic summer, they eat frantically to recharge. For them, the hardest days are finally over. But for the newborn chicks, born in the coldest place on Earth, their challenges are just beginning. As the Antarctic summer arrives, the temperature gradually rises. Life begins to sprout quietly beneath the ice. Even though the Antarctic summer isn't exactly warm, plankton and krill begin to appear in massive numbers. Krill need the melting ice to grow rapidly, and they are the penguins' favorite food. But every hunting trip for the penguins must be timed perfectly. This is the key to their survival. They must time it to return when krill are most abundant and before the chicks starve to death. To survive, penguins must follow the rhythm of the ocean precisely. Food is now plentiful, but danger and slaughter in the ocean begin as well. Leopard seals weave through the broken ice floes, patrolling the edges of the melting ice, waiting quietly to snatch chicks entering the sea for the first time. For most species, this is the season of abundance. The window is short, but the ocean is incredibly generous, providing plenty of prey. Far from the coast, in the deep interior, emperor penguins still stand on the ice, using their body heat to protect the newly hatched chicks against the final remnants of winter's fury. Their world moves several weeks slower than the rest of Antarctica. At the same time, South Georgia Island hosts one of the world's largest king penguin colonies. From a distance, the penguins look like a flowing carpet of life. Black, white, and gold ripple like waves. The scale is staggering. Over 500,000 king penguins are calling out. Tens of thousands of families, amidst the cacophony, are working hard to recognize each other's voices. It is a world worlds apart from that of the emperor penguins. The environment of South Georgia Island is different from the Antarctic mainland. Food in the ocean here is plentiful most of the time. The climate is harsh, but it doesn't swing as violently between extreme cold and heat. So, king penguins don't huddle in the dark to hatch eggs, nor do they face the survival test of blizzards. They can breed on bare ground, needing no ice shelves or platforms, and they don't have to endure the winter ordeal. Because of this, their breeding cycle is exceptionally slow. Raising a chick takes over 14 months. Some pairs even skip an entire year without breeding. A stable environment doesn't mean there is no danger. Wherever life gathers, predators follow. Skuas linger on the edges of the colony, eyeing stray eggs or chicks. Giant petrels soar high above, searching for weak targets. On the beach, fur seals and elephant seals wait for any hesitant penguin to pounce. In the nearshore waters, orcas hunt in coordination, forcing penguins to dive deeper into danger. The king penguin's survival is different from the emperor penguin's endurance. The waters they rely on have incredible productivity, so they raise their chicks slowly, keeping them well fed and safe from predators. until the next breeding season begins. On the Antarctic continent, besides the emperor and king penguins, there are also rockhoppers, adelies, gentoos, chinstraps, and more. They are distributed across different islands. What they share is that they evolve as the environment changes. In this evolution, they must be flexible enough to keep up with the changes around them in order to survive. The Antarctic Peninsula is like a natural classroom. For some species, it's a fast track where life is pushed to its limits. For others, it's a challenge to expand the boundaries of existence. Any change in the environment brings different survival challenges. As it stands, the pace of change in the Southern Ocean has already surpassed the adaptability of many penguins. Out of necessity, some penguins have begun migrating to new territories. Some adapt to nature by changing their way of life, and some who cannot adapt have quietly faded away. It remains true. Survival of the fittest. This is the law of nature.